I'm conducting a storage auction contest. The quick dirty deed is do a video, upload it to the storage auction contest video, and it'll be judged and you have a chance to win a lot of cool stuff. Check out the video. Now, on to the next story. Hey, this is Glenda with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions. The title of this joint, The People That Live at Peter Street. Someone put in a request, and just to let you know that I do read things and I do answer things occasionally. No, I work on it to the best of my ability. Someone wanted me to create a Peter Street playlist. There's only 6 videos, but we'll be 7 with this video. Went ahead and create the playlist, and you're going to have it. And I'm going to do more Peter Street stories because God knows so much stuff has happened to me in there. It was ridiculous. Like the time I got stuck in the elevator for almost an hour. You think you're a man until some shit like that happens. You just don't know. But this video is prompted by a question. Have you ever encountered someone living in a unit? And at Peter Street, I used to call it the Holiday Inn because there were several people that lived at Peter Street. During the day, they would go out, do whatever they had to do to earn money, whatnot, and come back and sneak in and bed down in the middle of the night. This was common. One of the ways that you knew that you got one of the Holiday Inn units were at Peter Street. They had this dock, the drive-in dock. You could either back up to the outer part of it or really drive up the ramp into the facility. As you're driving in, to your right there were vending machines, and on that corner were what I call the Holiday Inn units. They were 5x5 units that were actually, there was this rolling set of stairs that you had to get to the upper units. And anytime that one of those rooms were going, you knew that you had a 50-50 chance of getting someone's house. You have a lot of homeless people or crackheads or street hustlers that are constantly around Peter Street, and they just want to stay close to their shit because there's a lot of people that live in storage units. A lot. And when you think about it, if you're getting like a disability check or you're getting a few coins or a few shillings from the state, $85 monthly rent's a lot easier to come up with than, anywhere from $600 to $1,500 to rent a house or an apartment. And a lot of people are in a bad situation. This is the story of a unit that I bought and gave back to the guy. This was early in my career when I was far more charitable than I used to be. Far more charitable. It was a Saturday U-Haul run, and I got the unit at Peter Street. It only cost me $5, and I pull out stuff, and I'm immediately like, damn, this is a Holiday Inn. Because first thing I pull out is a shaving kit. And a lot of times these units will have a little aroma. Letting you know, because someone was literally living in there and sleeping in there, and frequently these folks didn't have access to soap and water. And it definitely was evident in that unit. So, I'm pulling stuff out, and then I find some nice books. Guy was in a major black frat. And, it was just like, how can this guy be in a frat and end up so destitute? I guess frats aren't what they used to be. And he was a young guy. He was a real young guy, and his deal was, and the thing is, he had a job. There was the pay stubs in there, but when you're making $6.25 an hour, and after taxes and child support, you're getting $120 a week. It's kind of rough out there for a player. And I'm going through the stuff, and I find the most important and most valuable items in there were his frat paraphernalia. The paddle, the manuals, the guidebooks, the secret rituals, all that stuff was in there. He held on to that. And that was truly the most valuable thing, is because I know a whole bunch of folks about to get mad at me, but I got one of the early editions of Omega Psi-Phi out of a unit of Meridian Mart, Meridian Storage years ago. And that sucker went for $680 on eBay. I don't know. It was a frat that bought it. But, he sent me, he's like, how dare you sell this? And this is our legacy. And yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I'm selling this book, bitch. Believe that? Because the bidding hit like 200 the first night. So, and it only cost me $12. I was like way ahead of the game. And then it started. Hello? Do you still have that unit that you got the other day? Oh, yeah. Well, he wants to buy it back. And at that point, it's always extra. It's very rare that someone will say, hey, I have $500, $800, $1,000 to give you for this unit. Because if they had the money to begin with, they would have not lost the unit. That's my line of thinking. And that's like, do you mind if we give him your number? Like an idiot. Sure, go ahead, give him the number. Dude started blowing up my number like I was a booty call. I was like, damn. And he's like, I need my frat stuff back. I was like, no, you want your frat stuff back. He's like, yo, man. I mean, he went from Mr. Very Professional. It's like, hi, my name's Alan Willis, and I really very much would like for you to sell me back my items. To, motherfucker, you little click. And at that point, when he got to the agitated, using those type of words, I wasn't going to meet him. There was too many things that could go wrong. And he called me up and he's like, hey sir, I'm really sorry. I'm under a lot of stress. That stuff's very, very important to me. And I'm like, yeah, so's my life. It's very important to me, and you just nutted up on me, so we're not meeting. He said, well, I spoke to the people at U-Haul, and they will act in my behalf as an intermediary. I was like, okay, so you're brokering deals like that. Big whoop. Well, the lady from U-Haul calls and said, okay, she said you agreed to a price. I said, we did? We did not agree to a price. And he's like, he left $350 here. And I called him back, and I was like, why did you tell him we agreed to a price? And he said, well, I left $350. I called him back to check and make sure that they didn't try to get me. And I kind of gauged the interest of the frat stuff, and it was like, there was some on eBay, but it wasn't really hitting on a lot. So I took the stuff back, and she called him on the phone. And understand, a lot of times, they don't do this. They don't get involved in this. It's too much liability. And look, based on his pictures, I think the girl at U-Haul was a little sweet on him because, he was one of those super fine dudes, which is, why was he homeless? He had skills and assets. He could have put in a little work and had a place to stay. But that's just me. And she went through the stuff, and she on the phone, and he's like, yes, it's here, and this is here, and this is here. And she slid the $350, and I bounced on out. There are many, many people that live at Peter Street. And the people who run the facility know they live there. Those are the same motherfuckers who are playing games with the elevator. Now, if you ever come to Atlanta and go to a U-Haul auction, just know that if you go to Peter Street in the month of December, expect to see 100, 150 units. And they're going to be rolling. People will be running out of lots. People will be running out of money. And it's just stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. And it's a very large facility. They have like almost 2,400 rooms. And it's crazy. When I first got into business, I was a glutton for punishment. And, people, the Clampus, he's like, I'm never going to Peter Street again. And it took me a while. It took me a few years to really get to the point where he was with Peter Street because I was pulling out a lot of nice stuff. You got the unique stuff. And let me give you a little background. Back in the day, Peter Street was the only storage facility in maybe a 10 to 15 mile radius downtown. It was it. So everybody in that geographical area stored there. So you had a lot of the college students in the AU Center, plus you had people from, very nice neighborhoods storing their stuff there. So you never knew what you were going to come across. I mean, it could be anything. I have seen a sarcophagus. I have seen rapper stuff. Lots and lots of drug dealer stuff. Tons of drug dealer stuff. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But I want to do some more Peter Street stories because I've had a lot of good stuff happen to me. I've had a lot of bad stuff happen to me, and people just seem to like it. Like the spooky Peter Street story. Folks love that. But that's the deal. There are many, many people that live at Peter Street, and it's a very tragic and sad situation on one hand, and it is just another reservoir of comedy on the other hand. Because there's this one guy, I'm going to do a video just about him. This dude was a trip, and he lived there, and it took me a few years to figure it out, because every time we went to an auction, I saw him, and I just thought, you know, he was the help, because a lot of those people, they hang around and they're like, hey buddy, can I help you? Can I help you load? No, you can't help me load because you're going to be stealing shit. I already know. I can see it in your little beady eyes. But that's the deal. All right, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions.